Will Ospreay was already established as one of the best wrestlers in the world from the time he spent dominating the main event scene in New Japan Pro Wrestling for 8 years. Ospreay's name was often mentioned next to legends of wrestling such as Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega. So by the time he made his first appearances for All Elite Wrestling in 2022, the expectation for what a Will Ospreay match should be were set, and those expectations would be even greater for when he would eventually sign as a full-time member of the AEW roster at the start of 2024. In this video, we will go over the most notable matches that Will Ospreay has had in All Elite Wrestling to date, and look toward what the future may hold for the Aerial Assassin. Will Ospreay's first real notable match in AEW was with Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door 2022. Will Ospreay's actual first match in AEW was a 6-man tag match between United Empire and the Best Friend stable, but this match between Ospreay and Cassidy would be much more high profile and holds a higher rating on Cage Match with a 9 out of 10 score.
I don't know if you guys all know this, or I don't know if all of you know this, but Will Ospreay's really good at professional wrestling.
Write that down.
So let's take a note of that, because here's a fun fact. He's really good at professional wrestling. I was injured. Keith Lee threw me out of the ring onto other people, and I separated my shoulder, and I was out for like 3.5 months. I didn't like that. I didn't like not having control over what I can do, because usually I do whatever I want to do, and I couldn't because my shoulder was hurt. And an opportunity came up for me to wrestle Will Ospreay, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. But a lot of people were like, well, why Orange Cassidy wrestling Will Ospreay? Why are we going to waste Will Ospreay on Orange Cassidy? So I said to myself, oh, you'll see why. And I thought I really wanted to win, obviously, but like I said, he's very, very good. So I think that I just like to show people that they don't know everything, and that I can do stuff when I want.
The next set of matches that Ospreay would have in AEW would be a set of trios matches alongside his stablemates in United Empire, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis, first against Death Triangle and then against the Elite during the initial Trios Tag Team Tournament on the road to All Out that year.
Okay, Brandon, did you get a shot of us watching the match?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go ahead and cut. Go ahead. Come on, let's get out of here. No.
You should probably watch to see who wins. This is who we fight next.
Okay.
This is who we fight next.
Go ahead.
Just keep
Check out the
rolling.
action.
Okay,
I'm not done.
Like, he can think what he wants about me, but the motherfucker's just, he's honestly just such a little bitch. He's just the same person when he's like, oh, I grew up after 6 to 7 5-star matches. He's like, no, you didn't, you cunt. You're still fucking looking on, you vanity search your fucking name on Twitter to see what everybody says about you, and when it's all bad, you fucking cry in the corner of your fucking £1 million ass that you fucking got, because I'm not a fucking idiot when it comes to my own company. We got hit hard by the fucking pandemic. But like, does that mean that I'm taking a fucking day off? No, I'm working my fucking arse off to bring it back, because that's what you fucking said to do. This is the reason why I don't like Kenny, and like, I think this is where some people can fucking relate to something along these lines. Like, when you talk to me and you tell me this, and then you go behind to fans and you talk differently, like, that's where we have a fucking problem. Like, and the worst thing is, you have my number. If we've got a fucking problem, you can call me and we can fucking talk about this, but I ain't got nothing to say to him. And the worst thing is like people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, like they're building up to something. We're not building up to fucking anything. He's a cunt. Like, be all and end all is just like, I will fucking slap that boy. And like, just remind him you're a fucking 40-year-old man. Like, and you're fucking fragile, bro. You want to fucking get with me, like, I'll fucking end you.
You know, my favorite wrestler today is Kenny Omega. I love Kenny. I think he's doing a really good job. He is the best in-ring performer right now. Him or AJ Styles.
I was going to say AJ, and I'll throw another name at you. And I want your opinion on this guy, Will Ospreay.
Oh God, Will, well, incredible. You know, he just did an interview and he said something about me that was really cool. You know, he said that he can't compare himself to me, at least not right now, and that was a really cool compliment. Will is every bit as good as Kenny Omega. I mean, he is really that good. Those two together, you know, those are the two guys that today, if I were still wrestling, I would love to wrestle. I really, Kenny's always been my favorite, but Will is really incredible too. My hat goes off to both of those guys.
Opinions about pro wrestling are subjective, but there's quite a few people that think Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom earlier this year was one of the best matches of all time.
I was comfortable, like I was very, very comfortable, and then all of a sudden the rug got pulled out from underneath me. And it was just one of those things where like all of my friends left, and I was kind of like, and the last thing that Kenny ever said to me was just like, we was in this big meeting and Kenny pulled me to one side with the Bucks and Cody. I was like, all right, you've got to take the reins now. This is all on you.
If you go on the link for Billy the Wanker t-shirt that was inspired by the clip that went around of me performing Kenny's finisher, the One-Wing Angel, it got so much traction, I decided to put a t-shirt up on Pro Wrestling Tees, and Ryan helped me out with it big time. However, 24 hours later, that shirt cannot be found anymore because it got a cease and desist by Kenny Omega. I have just exposed Kenny as an insecure little bitch. Because it was fine when those guys were throwing up a too sweet and they got hit with a cease and desist and they continue to poke fun at the bear. But when it is me doing it to you guys, you have a problem with it. The thing is I finally worked it out. It is just because Kenny is a miserable little prick. He takes it out on me because I'm actually having fun with my life and I'm doing the things that he's done plus more. Want an example? When Kenny was my age, the only thing that he was able to accomplish was the fact that he won the Junior Heavyweight Championship for All Japan, like anyone cares. And the only other thing he was able to accomplish was he done that barn burner match with Kota Ibushi in Budokan. We all remember that match, but that's all you did. At the age that I'm at now, I've done everything that you've done in New Japan and more. You're also pissed off because the vision that you had for AEW has now turned into something that you don't like, and people are starting to get an NXT vibe about the joint, isn't it? Or maybe, Kenny, it's because all those Joshi girls, they're not getting the TV time, but your 205 Live guys aren't they? I'm gonna get in so much trouble. And now the shoes are on the other foot. You've turned into the big boys, trying to look down on the little guys. All I'm just gonna do is keep poking the fucking bear. I've just exposed Kenny Omega as everything I've just been saying he is. A little fucking cunt. Have a good day, Ken, you fucking prick.
The stage was set for a match that would be held at Forbidden Door 2023 between Ospreay and Kenny Omega. Omega had just defeated Ospreay to win the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 17 in Tokyo, Japan, in one of the best matches that either wrestler had ever had, so it'd be a true challenge to top that performance. It currently sits at 9.5 out of 10 on Cage Match, where the match at Wrestle Kingdom sits a bit higher at 9.76, but as to which match is truly better, it's going to be best determined by your own personal taste. I'm sure we can debate it for days down in the comments, but any way that you look at it, these men are truly able to bring out the best in each other, and both matches will go down in wrestling history as some of the best of all time.
I say it to the day I die, like, Kenny's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Still a cunt, but like, he's literally like, the way his mind works, the way, like, he has a complete different outlook on the matches, and I think that's where I need to try and put my mind into his, just because it clearly works in what he's doing. And like, I know we get compared quite a lot, but we're just two completely different guys.
His mind operates differently, for sure. His mind is, I can't explain it. It's like a mad scientist when you watch him work, and like doing that one at Kingdom, like it's incredible to watch. It's incredible to watch it, and then to like collaborate on stuff together. And it was like, I didn't think it was going to be what it turned out to be. So then finally watching the art play out and everything that we wanted to hit, and then the gore, the eye swelling up, I think we both have like a mutual thing that we're both going to come out of this fucked up. When Kenny would say like, my matches were meaningless, although like I understand that what he was trying to do, it just irked me, like anyone, like, because there were a few AEW guys like, and like, that did say shit, and it just made me just go, you fucking ignorant cunt.
That's the guy that Kenny said goodbye to. At one point I was the aerial assassin, I was the good guy, like fucking fighting for New Japan, like heart in one hand and nuts in the fucking other. Like I was that guy, and then along the way, while this pandemic's kicked in, I've transformed into this different guy. And I think for me personally, that like going against Kenny, like the story was, that wasn't the guy you said goodbye to. That wasn't the guy you said, I need you, the company's going to lean on you, I need you to push forward, I need you to be the guy now. So for me, it was poetic to not only bring back the Assassin's Creed hoods, because that's the guy he said goodbye to. I wanted the full experience. I wanted to be fucking babyface Billy and come out like superhero. And it was just one of those ones where like, it was a one-time only thing. Like, there's a small part of me wanting to bring it back, but I just think right now I like it. I failed at that mission.
Ospreay reminds me of a tougher Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
He's got the look. He's obviously wrestling in terms of his in-ring capabilities are just otherworldly at this point.
Yes.
But it was like the new school, the very athletic, physical, dynamic, incredibly difficult and high risk type of offense. It had all of that, but it also had Nick Bockwinkel, Vern Gagne-esque psychology.
Yes.
So the story was there, the psychology was there, the dynamic presentation, the athleticism, the things that people really dig nowadays, that was there, in spades. There's more than enough of that for anybody who loves that style and that presentation, but it still had great psychology. And in the pacing, in the story, it was so good. I mean, I don't know that I've seen anything better in terms of a match. Now, they don't have a rock-like popularity with the audience. That audience they did, certainly.
Yes,
with that
yes.
audience they did. And that's why I don't like comparing. But in terms of the story and the action and the believability, all the things that make me excited to watch a wrestling match,
Yes.
I got overdosed on it.
Yeah.
And I was there for it. It was awesome.
I've been telling people on this channel to subscribe, and they won't.
Yes.
What can we do about that? Can you help me out? Maybe if you tell them to subscribe, they'll do
You
it.
threaten them. I'll threaten them
Yeah,
for
if
you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. You don't have to do it or you're cursed.
I got the call saying that I'd like to be they'd like me to be part of Wembley, and me, I was just probably thinking I'll be in like guys like Kenny Omega were in like 6-man tags, do you know what I mean? So I was in a position as a singles wrestler, and the day before I was wrestling in Rev Pro, where they done one of their, I don't know if it was their largest attendance, but I think it was about like 4,000 people there. So it's not even 5%. It's not even 5% of what was in Wembley. So then they're going like, oh my God, you know the words? So, and then you're looking up and fireworks are shooting over the top of you, and you're just like, it's not some mad little dream, innit? Like, there's crazy professional wrestlers that have made like way more money or way more famous than I have ever been.
and they've never wrestled in Wembley Stadium. And there's just, mate, I look like someone who...
To take place in London and Wembley Stadium in 2023. Not so obvious would it be for him to be facing Chris Jericho. This match would notably be Ospreay's lowest rated AEW pay-per-view outing, sitting around an 8 out of 10 on cagematch.net.
It's been a crazy little journey to come into AEW as a bad guy. That's what a lot of people forget. Like, I came in as like a bad guy, and I guess through those appearances people saw the effort that I was putting in onto those pay-per-views and onto those Dynamites before I even got there. So I feel like the moment that it was announced that I was coming in, it was a case of like, thank God, like someone who's actually coming in here to graft, and like one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, like, has come into AEW to help remind people what the foundations of this place was built upon. Like, I mean, like you said, with the New Japan comparison right there, man, like, New Japan's my heart and my soul and my home, and like, it took a lot for me to leave and to finish that chapter in my story. Like, I generally thought, I'll be honest with you, dude, I thought I was going to be the kid in Japan for the rest of my life, because I just, the way that I wanted to live, I wanted to remain in the UK. That was one thing, and there was no American company that would ever cater to that until AEW came along. So not only has it came along at the right time, it's just one of those ones where, like, I understand that this hasn't happened for everyone. Like everyone that I know that's from my country or even from Europe that has ever been signed to an American deal has moved over there. A lot of them like left their wives and kids at home and just are happy for them to be raised without their father, or happy to like just go on life like that, and that's never appealed to me, especially in this position that I am in now. So like coming in, I do feel the pressure, but I also feel like a lot of earned respect, because like there was a time where like my immaturity showed through so much that like I generally thought I'd never be on these type of stages, and then to finally come out the other side, finally grow up, unfortunately, and be in a position where I look after like this beautiful little boy and this wonderful human of a girl. And my sole objective was like, if it was only New Japan, it's only New Japan. And thankfully AEW was able to put on an incredible offer that has completely changed my life. And not only that, every single week I get to say I'm home with my wife and my kid. And it's not with a heavy heart, man. I signed my deal with AEW and I'm allowed to come back and do New Japan matches. But I don't know when that's gonna be. But I promise you, man, I promise you guys I'm fucking everything that I am as a man. I will be back. I promise you all, I will be back. I can't express this enough. I love you guys. I love who I am. I love who I've become because of Japan. I've learned etiquette. I've learned manners. I've fallen down on my knees in front of you all, and I've picked myself up and I'm allowed to work to prove myself time and time again. This is not the traditional way that I would ever go out, but I am not a traditional person at all. I have broken every boundary, every rule under the book. When everyone asked me to go right, I went left, and I somehow ended up here. I am honoured, and I am proud to say that I am a product of New Japan Pro Wrestling. It will stay with me until the day that I die. This feeling, this adrenaline, learning how to fight with you guys, to be next to all of you guys, I love you. It was incredible. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you for allowing me to grow up in front of all of you guys. I love you all so fucking much, Jay.
Takeshita is the next level of Kenny Omega. Takeshita's bigger, 6'3", 240. Takeshita's stronger. And amazingly, I will say, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's a better athlete than Kenny Omega, Tommy, but he's on that level. This kid was an Olympic hopeful in what? Decathlon. Do you all know what decathlon is? That's 10 events. He didn't have to be great at one, like Kenny was great at hockey. He had to be great at 10. So why bring in Takeshita? Because Takeshita is the future of AEW.
Revolution 2024 would see Ospreay take on Takeshita in his first match as an AEW contracted wrestler.
Grateful to be in the ring with such a great wrestler like Takeshita is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best wrestlers in the world. This is the first time we've ever touched one another as well. I mean, we've done tag matches with one another, but it's the first time we've ever had a match one-on-one. The reception was incredible. I was getting proper nervous backstage because I feel like people's eyes are on me more than ever. A lot of it has just been experience over in Japan, dude. Once again, I have watched Takeshita. I was a fan of him. I saw him live at 2019, and one of my mates at the time went, "God damn, he's sexy." And I was so I was sitting next to him. I was just like, "Hey, you all right? Calm down, mate." But yeah, he is, isn't he? But when those type of matches are happening, I just kind of remain from my training what I did in Japan, because with that it's endurance based. You have to keep your timing right, you have to keep your energy levels down, not get too freaked out in those moments, because there's a lot of heavy shots. So the moment you start freaking out and breathing heavy and not creating space from your opponent, that's when you're going to find yourself in difficult positions. I think my benefit throughout a lot of these guys is my gas is kind of good, my breathing, my cardio, that's what I can't even think. It did a lot of brain damage there, boom, but my cardio is real good. I just I try my best to keep my breathing going, but that moment he brain busted my ass on the rope, dude, that was the most painful thing I've ever felt in my entire life. I wanted to cry, man, there's a lump, dude, but Takeshi's the best, man. I can only do what I've just been practicing over in New Japan, so this is all that I can present right now, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys what I've been learning and what I've been experiencing, because there's so many guys that don't know me yet, dude. My name's Will, I do good pro wrestling.
That is the most painful thing that has ever happened to me in a match, ever. But not enough to stop the match, but just my arse was hurting so much. It was flipping blue afterwards. And but for me, having all that reaction, having all that expectation, delivering, even in the pain that I was in, going backstage, having this giant ice pack and this weird drink that looked like piss, and I'm
the electrolytes, yep.
The electrolytes, yep.
But they're so lovely, actually. And then laying on the freaking table, I was laying on the table, I was just crying, oh, my ass hurts so much. And then I felt someone grab my hand, and he went, "Mr. Ospreay," and I looked up, and it was Ric Flair. I was like, "Oh!" Stand back up again, agony, my ass was killing me. They're "Yes, sir." And he was just "You're everything you've said and more." And I was like, "Oh."
And boy, did they put on a show. I talked to the Nature Boy Ric Flair on Monday, and he could not believe what he saw with Will Ospreay, and told me that he found him after the show and said, "Brother, you are all I've heard about and more." A lot of people saw him really for the first time in a big way at this pay-per-view because it was such a unique show in Sting's last match. People who might not normally order an AEW pay-per-view, well, they came away with the understanding of who the hell Will Ospreay is. What'd you think of that match? I know you got to see it on a monitor, and just wanted your take on that one.
It was spectacular. It was better than I envisioned it might be. Ospreay's a special talent. AEW fans have some great things to look forward to as regarding Ospreay and Takeshita. Both of them are young and still evolving, getting better every time out. So I thought that the match would be special. However, I'll be dead honest. I didn't know or predict in my mind that it was going to be as special as it was. It was everything that you could want in a 5-star match. They had, I don't know how many stars Meltzer's going to give it and all that stuff. I don't know that, but I know that it was extraordinary. Everything seemed seamless, made sense, logical, just good stuff. Logical, good, hard-hitting wrestling. And those two cats did did it right.
Me and Kyle go way back. Like, we've had so many matches over in England, and when the pandemic struck, him and Davis lived at my house while Australia indies weren't kind of picking up. So the UK indies just opened up, and it was kind of like it was discussed that if they just stay with me, I'll look after them. Didn't charge them any rent or anything. I just wanted to look after them. We done Rev Pro together. Was able to get over to America quicker, but like for me, Kyle and Davis, like, we're like three best friends, man. And I'm like, I miss you, Davis. I love you so much, dude. I hope you're doing well. But like for me, it was so happy to see Kyle, and like, man, it's changed his hair. It looks beautiful. God, like, that's one beautiful man. But like having him out there, getting to throw the crowns up again, like in AEW all together, like. Of course, like we're gonna get back the band back together and like roll through with the Don Callis family, of course. And like for me now, it's all steam ahead. And for Kyle, I think this is a big proving test for him. Like if the match does go ahead on Wednesday, I don't want him to hold anything back. Like this is proving point to you. You've been in the ring with Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, and you've shown so much. Like you are the future. But like right now, like I've just stepped in front of you. What are you gonna do?
For his first match on Dynamite in 2024, Ospreay would choose Kyle Fletcher for his opponent, and it would rival the quality of some of his recent pay-per-view matches.
So, I say it all the time. He's one of those people that can just do things, and I don't think he even knows how it happens. Like, he will just be standing there, and he'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do this. And then like, it's just perfect. And if I got him to break down his thought process, I don't think he would physically be able to do it because it just comes to him naturally. Like it's second nature to him. And I am in awe watching everything he does. It's ridiculous.
After his awe-inspiring match with Fletcher, Ospreay would go on a winning streak against Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Claudio Castagnoli, leading up to an epic match with Bryan Danielson at the first ever AEW Dynasty event.
What do I think of Will Ospreay in AEW? I mean, Will Ospreay is Will Ospreay. I've known him to be the guy that he's showing himself on television on a weekly basis. I've known him as that guy for quite some time. And I think that the fans are warming up to him. And I think that even though he's only just arrived, I think they're ready and excited to see him in high-stakes matches. So I think anyone that's tuning into Dynasty is probably, no matter who they're watching for, maybe they're watching for the ladder match, maybe you're watching for Swerve. I think no matter who you are, you probably have it in the back of your mind or in front of your mind that, hey, this match between Will and Bryan is probably going to be something special and to watch out for, even if you don't like either of them. I think if you are a wrestling fan, or at least you understand the history and the levels of respect that these two men have, you probably know that you can expect some high quality technical wrestling.
Having that moment with him, man, standing opposite him, the bell not even rung yet, and everyone is on their feet, and then stepping back. Like before I step back, if you look at my lips, I look at him and go, "This is going to be a pleasure, sir." And I watch back, and I had this moment of just like, I felt like I scored the World Cup goal before I even started wrestling him. And like those moments where you're just like, you just got to do this bit, you got to do this bit. And I remember when we done like a little back and forth bit at the opening, and they all stood up, I was like, we fucking got him, son. Like I was so like, let's go. I love Bryan Danielson so much. I love his enthusiasm for professional wrestling. I love how he handles himself backstage. I love the maturity. It is something I've inspired myself. I've modeled myself around Bryan Danielson, of traveling around the world, knocking on the door of the toughest guy of the country and saying, come out here and let me whoop your ass in front of everybody. He is, without a doubt, like the standard bearer of AEW, the team captain of AEW. The fact that this is going to be his last year, somebody needs to step up into that spot. And I don't know if it is me, but like I'm damn sure willing to give it a try, because if he can do the things that he's done for AEW, so can everybody else. Bryan, for me, like having that adulation, I've actually got it, like the quote that he has, and I screenshotted it and put it on my phone, because I've got a photo of us when we're like corner to corner at the Dynasty show, and I'm gonna frame it and I'm gonna print that off and I'm gonna put it next to it, because like I get emotional talking about it, man, but like he's generally like one of like my favorite human beings ever, and like I've only known him for a year, like actually like shook hands with him and like met him, but like he's done so much for the industry, man, and like I've just had like some of like the most emotional moments within wrestling, and he's been at the forefront of it. Like when he won the world title, cried. When he retired, cried. When he came back, cried. And it's just like, man, like here it is again. Like I don't know where I am in the card at all in, but like I know the moment I am done, I'm gonna find somewhere on the floor, like I'm going out as a fan to watch Bryan Danielson one more time walk down that ramp and just reclaim that spot as the best wrestler in the world, man. I've been feeling sick, man, like in all of my matches, like even one against Cesaro, at one point I generally thought I was going to throw up in the ring, so I don't know if it's exhaustion, if my body just telling me to slow down and whatnot, right? But then I got in there with Bryan and I was so worried. I kept saying to myself, man, like don't be sick, like don't, like you got to be in control of all of this, you got to be, and I'm not even joking, the moment the bell rung, like, even just beforehand when I was looking at him, I just mouthed to him and went, this is going to be a pleasure. And then I stepped back, and the moment that bell rung, it was just, there was nothing, man. There was nothing like blocking me. There was nothing making me feel like I don't belong here. Like even when I done the Kenny match and the Jericho match, I still feel like I was punching up. For the first time, like I generally felt like I was meant to be a part of this. I was like, I felt going in there against somebody that I consider the best wrestler in the world. I consider him the greatest to ever do it. At no point did I ever think I was ever going to be opposite this man at all. And now here it is standing there, and I just felt like I was on your level. It just felt amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Ospreay would continue his winning streak after Dynasty, most notably in a pair of Casino Gauntlet matches. The first would get him a shot at the AEW International Championship that he would go on to defeat Roderick Strong for at Double or Nothing, and the second would secure him a shot at the All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship at Forbidden Door 2024.
I'm a world champion. He's an international champion. We're headliners now. It's like I couldn't be more proud of him. It's like, man, I knew it then, and now it's like I'm happy to share this moment with you. And he's like equal, like we really like looking forward to this moment, and it feels like a generation. Like this is the evolution of what All Elite Wrestling is. This is the generation of like that jump, like two young guys in their prime. Like, and I still feel like Will hasn't even entered into his prime yet. He still has like still more ways to go because he's that good, and I know how his mind works, and it's going to keep evolving. Will's on such a hot streak and like that nobody's ever seen before in AEW, and I'm on such a rise and like a culture shifting momentous thing that I have going on. People aren't ready to see it like go away yet. People, well, they expected to see it here, but now they're getting it here. It's like, oh wow, it shocks the people. Once again, we got the reaction. Now we're about to play with the emotions of it.
Swerve Strickland would end Ospreay's undefeated streak that he had been on since signing with AEW. Soon after this defeat, he would incur a second loss, this time to MJF, and along with losing the grueling hour-long battle, he would also lose his International Championship title.
The fact that you mouth breathers actually thought he could beat me when he couldn't even beat that schmuck Swerve is laughable. This title is nothing more than garbage.
The reality is, he's a knobhead. I can't stand him as like This is about restoring that title. Like the people that have held that title beforehand, like your husband being one of them, like Orange Pac, flipping out Roddy, Phoenix. Like it is about like creating that legacy and like holding that lineage to like a high standard. And the fact that he's just like done that, it just irks me, it pisses me off.
You are looking at the man who single-handedly defeated with ease that redcoat terrorist Will Ospreay and brought gold back home to our great nation.
Because you can be the feeling all you want, bruv. MJF, the American hero, ain't nothing but straight facts. And for those facts, you can thank me later.
I am a real American. I fight for the rights of every man. I fight for what's right. And tonight, Michael Oku, you fight for your life.
That's so very nice.
Let's get one thing straight. I'm the only one that makes that bitch life live in hell. If you didn't think that I was going to come back to the place that's not only 40 minutes down the road to me, but the place that I built for my broken bloody back. This is my fucking baby. When you're back there, you've already got this big smile on your face. Big smile, you're gonna worry you're the picture of perfect health. I'm standing in this ring and I can smell the turning injections from here. Someone clearly told me that those things are bad for your health. But I'm not worried about your health anymore, my friends. This man has injured Daniel Garcia. He has thrown the international championship in the bin. He's busted over my best friend, and now you've come into my home, done my move, on my rival. Bro, you've got a fucking death wish. I keep battling with this fucking thought in my head. I keep battling with it, and I can't let it go. When it comes down to it, the 25th of August, I've got one question for you. Are you guys with me? I'm gonna need you. I need you to remind me what I can do, because I know I'm a sick little fucker when I want to be one. Max, at Wembley, the 25th of August, I will do whatever it takes.
Time out. I'm a hero, pal. I'm not a villain. I'm an American hero. I'm the American champion. Everybody looks up to me in my country. Guys, I beat up his ribs. He's an idiot. He then tried to perform a move where he lands on what?
His ribs.
His ribs. I put up my knees and then I dumped him on his head and I pinned him and then I hit him with the maneuver that, let's face it, your countryman Will Ospreay is too much of a pussy to perform, which is the Tiger Driver 91. Ospreay went to run in and save Amira, who, if we're being honest, she stuck her nose in a situation, she had no right sticking her nose in. Woman should never, ever, 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 if they're not, I don't believe she's a professional wrestler. She's just a valet. What is she doing in the ring? Very dangerous. She could have really hurt herself. Very dainty, tiny little girl. So I was trying to help escort her out of the ring, as we all saw. And then Ospreay runs out, takes his shirt off, which really weird. Can we discuss this? Why are you pulling your shirt off to simply run into a ring? What are you trying to prove here? So anyway, rips his shirt off with a lady in the ring, mind you. Little sketchy. Comes into the ring, and then I ball my fist up. He gets scared and ran off. I beat Michael Oku in 3 minutes. I then tried to help escort his missus out of the ring safely. And then Will Ospreay tried to run in, got scared, dumped in his nappy, and sprinted off like a little crybaby bitch. And I rose up the American Championship, as I normally do after a victory, and the crowd chanted USA. I'm a very intelligent man, and I will do whatever it takes to get what I want, as we see right here on our table. And I will do so the exact same way on August 25th at All In, because I do whatever it takes. I'm not Will Ospreay. I'm not a British little bitch. I'm not afraid to hit a move because it might hurt somebody. Oh, bruv, I don't know. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a buffoon. Will Ospreay, let's have a quick little chit-chat here, because I know you're watching, because you're a fucking mark. You got one move, pal. One move that can possibly beat me, and you're too much of a fucking Nancy to use it. It's sad, really. But it's predictable because you are an Englishman, and you're all weak and cowardice. And at Wembley Stadium on August 25th, I will be successfully defending my American championship, because I come from the only country that matters. I come from a country of winners. You are going to lose, Will, and I am going to embarrass you in front of your friends, your family, and your countrymen. And for that bit of information, you can thank me later. There is a weird discourse around Will Ospreay that he is this great professional wrestler. What is this?
That's the AEW American Championship.
Yes, it is. How did I get it?
Well, you defeated Will.
I defeated Will Ospreay handedly. So now I'm confused. How could he be the best wrestler in the world when I beat him?
Well, you say the match lasted a minute 58.
A minute 58 seconds, yes, sir.
In my memory, and this could just be my memory, that match lasted close to an hour.
Oh, that's preposterous.
Okay.
No.
Right.
No. I mean, I did it without even breaking a sweat. It was a very fast match.
The oxygen mask after the match.
Oxygen mask?
Yeah.
No, I have not needed an oxygen mask since my 1 hour match with Bryan Danielson, who, to be fair, I mean, that was a challenge. That's a guy who's incredibly talented. I mean, if you want to have discourse about that guy possibly being the second best in the world behind me, we can talk about that. But Ospreay, I mean, let's just get real here, right? The only reason people think he's talented is because I think he's a little slow and they feel bad for him. And like, look, we all have that friend, right, who did poorly in school, and we all kind of want to hold their hand and make sure they're okay. Hey, buddy, how's your job at McDonald's? Is it good? You getting the fries in the bag good? Good. I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well. And I just think we're overcorrecting here with Will. I think we're just pandering too much. He's never going to get better if we keep pretending he's this next level elite talent. August 25th, Will Ospreay, I'm going to decimate you in front of your crooked teeth countrymen. I am going to prove that there's only one man in professional wrestling that deserves to hold the American championship, and that is the American hero Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Will Ospreay, you're a hell of a talent, but you don't have what it takes to beat me because you lack a killer instinct. You refuse to hit the Tiger Driver 91 because you're a Nancy boy. You guys say that here, right?
Some of us do.
Okay. You're a Nancy boy, and you are going to lose on August 25th, and I am going to prove once and for all that when people say best in the world, there should only be one name synonymous with that phrase, And that's Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And for that bit of information, Will Ospreay, you can thank me later.
I know Will Ospreay is one of the best pro wrestlers currently today. And since he's come to AEW, his mic skills, and he just is so engaging. For Will Ospreay, he will do whatever he can to defend the people of AEW and people who support pro wrestling. And MJF is that perfect villain for this scenario. I mean, hometown kid versus the American, the evil American. And all of this buildup and all of this real back and forth going on and on. And then what does MJF do? Because every great heel, Ric Flair, the greatest. If I could tell you two of like Ric Flair's signature things, it's the woo, and then it's putting his hands up and backing off. That's going like, because if you're the best in the world, you don't back off. Michael Jordan doesn't not go for the dunk. He doesn't go for the shot. He continues to go for the. But when you're a wrestler and you're a heel, you back off. It shows that you have weakness eventually. And when he just hit that line, they used to love me before you. And there's like, oh, like he said it. It slipped. Commentators picked up on it. Brilliant. Because it shows insecurity of MJF. Because he's another character, if you think about it, shouldn't have made it. Those two guys are so parallel because what do we know Will Ospreay for? Great wrestler. MJF had to prove he was a great wrestler. MJF had to prove he was, didn't have to prove he was a great talker. Everyone knew he was this great talker, but can he do it in the ring? Will Ospreay can do it in the ring. Now it's, can Will Ospreay talk? He was in Japan for most of the times. Most of the time you hear him talk was when he was doing those press conferences.
But we're meant to be the alternative. We are meant to cater to them and their voices. This is not only about restoring the international championship, it's about restoring the feeling. And bruv, I am the feeling.
You and your Whittle fans can feel all they want because I'm the facts. And facts don't care about feelings.
It took you 4 years to win them over. Mate, it took me 4 beats of my music to win them over. You let everybody down. They used to love you and they don't love you anymore.
They loved me until you showed up and ruined it. But I got one more fact for you, feeling boy.
I got a feeling after the conversation I had with your wife tonight, the next kid she has won't be yours either.
Shivani.
Yes, yes.
Shivani.
Yes, yes.
You got Tony Khan in your ear.
Yes, I do.
How much is that fine if I twat him right now?
Okay, Will, that fine is 100,000 pounds sterling, $127,000.
It's worth it.
Oh boy!
Ospreay would defeat MJF to regain the International Championship at All In and go on to successfully defend the title against Pac just a few weeks later at All Out in Chicago. But on the horizon was a rematch 7 years in the making between Will Ospreay and the recently signed Ricochet.
But I feel like him coming in now, right? It's one of those things where we done that match and we went off on our separate journeys, right? And now we're coming back together again. And for me now, it's just like, this is your chance now. This is your chance to show people, like, because look around, boss. Look at this generation of wrestlers. Like, look what everybody is doing when it comes to like that athletic style of pro wrestling, right? It's him. He is the guy that did it. And he's just got to find that fire within himself because he knows he can do it. I honestly feel like he's just been downplayed for so bloody long that people have forgotten the freak athlete that he is. So if it is true, And if he is coming to AEW, I am calling you out to remind everybody, because you, without a shadow of a doubt, were the man. Dragon Gate, PWG, the indies around the world, no one could. I'm calling you out, bruv. I am saying, remind the world that you are one of the best who have ever done. I believe it. And if I believe it, you've got to believe in yourself now, boss.
He was online basically begging for me to come here.
Yeah, because you know why? Because you've forgotten who you were. You forgot everything about yourself. That 6-year hiatus you done. Like, look how much personality you're showing now. You're actually comfortable in what you're feeling.
And Will Ospreay and Ricochet proceeded to have not a very memorable match. It leaves us wanting more, and I don't have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that, and I brought a guy here that can talk about it because he was there alive. It's my producer, Rain Dragon, and he remembers the match better than I do. But what I remember about this match, and I thought more people would be upset about this, and a couple of people were, that it was more of an angle than a match. It was setting up for another match. This is a part 1. There's going to be a part 2. There's going to be a part 3. There's going to be part 4. Probably part 5.
Just the opening barrage of the, as some people call it, flippy stuff, as other people call it acrobatics, as other people call it really amazing technical wrestling, like insane stuff I couldn't do ever. And
fucking cool.
If I tried.
Fucking cool shit. How did the live crowd react? Because sometimes it doesn't come through on the broadcast. Were people losing their mind for this?
Like, oh my gosh, they literally stood in the ring and chanting was, oh my God, holy shit, this is awesome, before they touched. Like, the crowd was insane. The crowd was hot for the whole match. From the beginning to the middle to the first ending, the crowd was hot, and it was hot that they wanted it to keep going. It wasn't like, F you, this is horrible. It was like, no. And everyone was chanting, it's 5 years, so 5 more minutes. 5 years, 5 more minutes, you know. They restart the match. The crowd's into it. Takeshita runs by, knocks me off the guardrail, basically, jumps in the ring, and they did a great job because by that finish, all the heat went right on Takeshita. Like, no one was mad that Will and Ricochet didn't have a pin or a definitive answer. All went to the heel who screwed everybody over. So, I mean, the crowd was into it.
You see, now that's what I thought I would find when I went to the internet looking for reactions. I thought I would see some apologies, because before this match happened, a lot of people were saying Tony Khan's an idiot for giving this match away on TV. What's he doing? He's so stupid. He doesn't know how to book. And he didn't. He didn't give the match away on TV. He gave you a taste of the match that you're gonna get. And every time Ricochet and Ospreay get in the ring, what happened is probably gonna happen again, where everyone loses their mind. It's never gonna stop.
I honestly see this Ricochet Ospreay thing being like the Swerve Hangman. It is going to be that year long. There's going to be a match and a match and a match, and they're going to have some stuff in between, and then they're going to butt heads again. I mean, because they're big, great chemistry together, just like, you know, Hangman and Swerve have great chemistry together. So it's just, there's so many possibilities and so many different ways that they could meet up and have a great match.
Vince Russo says that this match was horrible. When you get these guys together, none of it's real. That's the argument. Is that none of this looks real. None of it's believable. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Well, I was going to say, what does that mean?
The fuck does it mean?
Spoiler: wrestling, it's all scripted and it's not real. All of it's not real. Right? In case anyone got it this far in the video, sorry if I spoiled it.
Sorry.
I mean,
you're fucking exposing the business here, Ranger.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't bring it on here to kill the business.
I think that's a horrible take.
It's pretty bad.
To say the least. I mean,
well, especially coming from Vince fucking Russo.
Yeah, I mean, he booked himself a title, for God's sakes, in WCW.
Viagra on a pole, fucking Vince Russo is going to talk to me about breaking the goddamn illusion? What the fuck?
Yeah, come on. All right. Okay, I get it, right? Some people are ECW style, that's a wrestling match. But even ECW had Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero in there throwing technical matches like crazy. I mean, yes, you had Sandman and Sabu, but you had other things too, and that's what wrestling is. Wrestling's not just one style. Yeah. It's not just the flipping stuff. It's not just the blood. It's not just the tag matches. It's not just hardcore. It's everything. There's a flavor for everybody. And as long as you're enjoying it, you really shouldn't ruin anybody else's flavor either. Just, if it's not your cup of tea, cool. Just sit back, watch it, and wait for the next the next one to hit, you know?
Well, I took Al Snow a little more seriously. So this clip is between Vince Russo and Al Snow. And Al Snow means well, but he's very stuck in the past and what bothered him about the match. And he was always, what I liked about Al Snow is that he wanted to put over Ricochet and Ospreay and constantly say that they're very athletic and it's very impressive and he likes all that. The problem he has is that at no point did it look like they were trying to win the match. They weren't going to hit each other. They would push each other to give each other more momentum to go into the ropes, a luchador kind of trait. And he didn't. He thought he said that works in Mexico, but not in America. And I didn't get that either. I don't quite understand why something that would work in Japan, something that would work in Mexico, it doesn't work in America. Maybe it doesn't work for Al Snow.
I was going to say, maybe it doesn't work for Al, but I mean, from where I was sitting, everybody was enjoying the match. No one was like, oh, get this crap over with. Like, literally everyone was saying, can it keep going? Let's keep going. We want more. Man, this is awesome. Yeah. Waiting in line to go in, everyone was talking about this match. They can't wait to see it. Man, is it going to live up to when they did it a long time ago? Man, I can't wait to see how more creative they are and what more inventive moves they're going to do. I mean, that's the thing. Wrestling evolves and styles evolve. And yeah, you can use a classic match, but you also evolve with the times and you do different things that if it works in Mexico, let's see if it works here. And I think a lot of styles work here. You know, Okada's style works here when his match with Bryan, you know.
If you never do the style, if you never show it to Americans, yeah, it might not fucking work here. Right. If you never give it the spotlight, then it doesn't really have a chance to work or not work. One interesting thing that I left out of this video, when Will Ospreay was talking to Swerve, Swerve brought up that, like, it's hard to critique this stuff. It's hard to critique a Will Ospreay because he's so far fucking ahead of everybody else. It'd be like going back to the 50s and bringing a Michael Jordan back to the 50s and having him play basketball. And like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, he's jumping from halfway over the court and slam dunking.
Yeah.
Like, it's not how they used to, like, basketball's changed so much now from what it was, you know, decades ago. Yeah. It's like the same kind of thing. If these guys are really evolving the sport and are next level performers, which they are, it's hard for people who are so used to and rooted in the tradition of American wrestling.
Yeah, but that's a great take with the way you bring in the sports, because all sports evolve. Think about, okay, football. I know you're not a big football guy, but they didn't have a forward pass in football. Now, 80% of football is throwing the ball as far as you can down the field. I mean, sports evolve. The event evolves. You have to evolve, constantly change.
You go back to the past and you show them new football. They're what the fuck are these guys
They'd be like,
doing?
what is this?
What is this? You know,
what are those helmets?
Yeah, every single one of them will sound like Jim Cornette. Yeah, these pussies are wearing helmets. You know, Jesus Christ.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. I'm a big fan of just enjoying what I see.
There you go.
And yeah, if there's something that happens, I'm like, ooh, that was rough, or I didn't like it, I might say it. But it's very rare that something doesn't hit with me. You know, I pretty much enjoy most of what I see. You know, even matches that, you know, I'm not a big fan of, like, I'll just say, like, the Miro, what was it? Miro and,
I don't like anything with a meat chant.
Yeah,
it's not for me. But hey, if that's for you, great.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not my thing, but I still chant meat with everybody. I still like try and have fun with it. And then when it's over, I clap, stand up, boo the heel, cheer the face, and go to the next match.
I live my life. All right, one thing I didn't get to do in this video, and it's really weird because I said it at the start and then I really had no plan to deliver on it, was to talk about the future of Will Ospreay. So I'm really glad that you're here so that I can deliver on that promise. Where do you think it's going from here? I mean, we know that we're getting like 50 more matches between Will Ospreay and Ricochet.
Oh, easily.
But, what else do you think is in the future for Will Ospreay as a scholar of AEW that you are?
So I honestly think there's so many doors that Will has to be able to open, and
That's
Styles.
That's interesting that you said that, because that's another thing I left out. I leave a lot out of these videos. A lot goes in, but a lot gets left out, and I listen
And so
to
you can make another
everything.
video.
And one of the things that he was saying was, if you look at the card to Dynasty, he said you can go in any direction. As a guy who works in AEW, the whole card was champions. So he was saying that he could see himself going anywhere. He could go after this belt or that belt or this rival or that rival, and they all can kind of wind and lead up to, the world title or wherever you want to go. So it's interesting that you brought that up, because it's a thought that the guy's had himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, because I really do want to see him go against guys like Christian, guys like Adam Copeland, guys like Adam Cole, guys
the whole
with different
roster is open.
Yeah, the whole Kenny Omega again when Kenny's healthy, Ibushi, just like, I really think that it's really neat that there's so many styles in AEW. So when these guys kind of match up, typically they're going to have a really neat creative match, and I'm really excited for his future. There is so many people that he hasn't even gotten into the ring with yet that I think will be phenomenal, to see. And the good thing is, a lot of it doesn't even need to have a title. You don't have to have a title to have a great creative, month-long story or however long.
Well, this is one of the reasons why this video got so long, and it's why it is like it is. Usually with a wrestler, there's a couple of stories. They're telling stories. And AEW comes underneath criticism for not telling stories. And maybe Will Ospreay, coming from Japan, they don't really do these kind of book-ended, 3-month stories that a lot of wrestlers do. Will Ospreay, the story is Will Ospreay. So to tell you the story of Will Ospreay, I needed to look at his entire run in AEW, because it's all kind of connected and it's all part of the same story. It's kind of, I'm the best wrestler in the world is the story, which is a story, but it's a big story. It's a large story.
And they weave a lot of stories into it, because if you think about it, he's still in the Don Callis family, but Takeshita's in the Don Callis family. Takeshita just beat him up, so it's like, is there going to be a fallout in that family? So it's not like, you just have to be kind of a smart fan to see the stories sometimes, because it's not going to be like A, B, C. Here's the coloring book. Here's 1, 2, 3.
It's easy to see. That's what it is. You have to look at the whole thing, and that's why this video is over an hour long, because I felt it was, if you're going to talk about Will Ospreay and explain what's going on with him, you kind of have to look at the whole thing. And
thank you for watching the video.
Thank you. Yes, thank you everybody for watching the video.
Subscribe, share.
Absolutely. And watch the credits, because I've got some pretty cool credits this time around. I put a lot of extra effort into this video, and thanks for coming and joining us, Rain Dragon.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is great.
And Grave Diggers. Keep
digging.